Okay, so how do I answer a question when I'm trying to match up one inequality to 4 graphs or one graph to 4 inequalities? Well, you're going to go through several things. First thing you're going to look at is your symbol. Since I see a bar on my symbol, that is telling me solid line. So we're going to pretend we had 4 different graphs for our answer choices, but I got rid of the 2 answer choices that had a broken line, and I'm left with 2 answer choices. So now I'm trying to narrow down between both of these inequality graphs to see which one matches my inequality that I was given. So now I'm going to go to checking my slope and my starting point for my graph line, for my boundary line. So I'm going to divide by 3 all the way across, and that's a -3. And the reason why I'm starting with division is because if you notice, x has already been moved to the other side. So I'm just picking up where they left off in the making this y equals mx plus b. So I've got y, and then because I'm dividing by negative, I've got to make sure that I flip-flop my sign. So it's going to be greater than or equal to. I've got 8 divided by negative. When they are different signs, your answer is negative. So -8/3 x. And then I've got to decide, is it going to be +2 or -2, because 6 divided by 3 is 2. And same sign means positive answer, so it's going to be +2, which means my starting point is 2, and my slope is -8/3, which tells me that on my graph line, when I start at 2, my starting point, I'm going to move down 8 and right 3. Okay, so I'm going to go to +2. Well, there's a starting point of 2, and this also starts at 2, so I can't get rid of one of these because they both have a starting point I need. And now I'm going to check to see, is it going down 8 and right 3? And I'm sorry, I made a mistake. This should be -8, which is going to make my answer be a positive, which means I should go up 8. Because if not, then neither of these are the answer. So we're going to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if I go right 3, I end up back on my graph line. So this matches the slope that I need. 3. Okay, I'm going to check this one. So I should be able to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And right 3. 1, 2, 3. And end up back on the graph line, which I do. So I cannot get rid of either of these graphs based on the boundary line, because their boundary lines match the starting point and match the slope of +8/3. The only thing that's different is the shading, and this is where you have to use your test point. And again, I'm going to pick the test point of 0, 0 because it is located not on the boundary line, so I can use it. If you look at this graph, look at where the test point is located. It is located in the shaded area. And if it's in the shaded area, when I plug in 0, 0, I should get an answer of true when I plug it into the original. But if you look at this graph, look at where the location is of my test point. It is located in the not shaded area. And if it's not in the shaded area, what should be my answer when I plug it in? My inequality should be false. I just don't know if when I plug in 0, 0, I don't know if this is going to give me an answer or an inequality that's true or false, and I'm not going to know that till I plug it in. So that's exactly what we're going to do. If we get true when we plug in 0, 0, this graph matches that inequality. If we get an answer of false, then we know that this graph and this shading matches our inequality. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the original, and we are going to replace x and y with our input and output values. And guess what? Our input and output values are 0. So y is going to get replaced with 0, and x is going to get replaced with 0. And I'm going to do the math on both sides. Okay, I can multiply, and this is going to give me a product of 0 less than or equal to. I've got 0, and again this is a -8 times 0 is 0, and what is 0 minus 6? A -6. Okay, so let's ask, is 0 less than or equal to -6, true or false? That would be false, which tells me that 0, 0 is not a solution and should not be in the shaded area. Well, which graph shows the origin not in the shaded area. The graph on the right, that is the correct graph that matches up with the inequality in our question.